command.
Yes, I can see it being integrated very nicely into the smart boards that we use already in all of our classrooms and labs. We have fitted with smart boards, and I can see this being a really useful technology with the smart boards or with PowerPoint. I think it would be really interesting, particularly for math, to be able to have graphing functions where we'd be able to have, for example, a grid come up based on a voice prompt, bigger or smaller, and then if I say, I mean, depending on how accurate this is, if I say graph point 2, 3 on this plane, and then graph point -3, -5, give me a line between the two, and so on, it would be quite fascinating. And then in other applications too, biology and chemistry, I can see it being useful.
Let's see, there's two places where I work really. There's in the office, which you see now, and there's the work that I do in my classroom. So voice command might have a lot more utility for me in the office, but that's the same for anybody working in an office, working with a variety of applications. In the classroom, we use something called a visualizer. It's a projector with a camera. There's a camera, you put your piece of paper under, and it shows up on the screen. In that case, maybe it would be nice to have voice command for the visualizer. If I tell it to zoom in or do something, because I don't like to play with to change the angle and to change the zoom and these things. I would have to do that with my hands. It's not very user friendly, that one, the visualizer. So that might be a nice area for voice command. I think it's an exciting project. I think what you need is, right now we're talking about opinions, assumptions, guesses, and what you need is empirical evidence. So maybe if I tried to do this with PowerPoint, I might find that I like it a lot. But here, sitting in my chair, I think I probably wouldn't like it. But I could be wrong. Only until you test it out in real life do you actually know with the empirical evidence, right?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I've been a professor for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So I can give you a lot of information about being a professor, teaching, and I do a lot of presentation at the conferences and in international conferences. So I think that would be really helpful what you're talking about, because I do a lot of presentation, and it's all PowerPoint presentation. You buy a computer there, and I have to stay at the podium, and I can't really move because I have to click. I have to advance the slide. So now if you product the technology, that project, and you can just, if I could just stand over there and they say, now next slide, zoom in. I also teach research, right? So I teach research, I do use PowerPoint, right? And I also teach health assessment. So you have lots of PowerPoint pictures, and I think they're very useful. Well, I think that would be good, because then if the surgeon is doing, like, for example, an open heart surgery, right, fixing the valve, and he's really, couldn't really see too well, you think, and then there's an image in front of him, and then you say, zoom into mitral valve, and then if it's zoomed in, it's going right there, and then it blow up, and then you can just see it. I think that might be helpful. How about if you could just stand in front of a computer, and then you say, Mr. Mohammed, vital sign, please, and then you come up on it for you, and you can just see it right away, right? Or Mr. Mohammed, medication, and then it should come up right away for you, so you don't have to go and click it and do that. I think that could be helpful. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sorry, command not recognized.